All right, some major news just dropped from the powerhouse Kellymoss race team. And I mean, major. They've just announced a massive expansion, and it gives us this absolutely fascinating look inside their strategy to, well, dominate the world of sports car racing.
You know, it really all boils down to one big question. What is the secret to building a true powerhouse? Is it just about having the fastest cars and the most famous drivers? Or is there something deeper going on? I think the moves Kellymoss is making right now might just give us the answer.
So the first piece of the puzzle, it actually starts with a single car and a very exciting new driver lineup that is already turning a lot of heads.
Let's meet the team behind the brand new number 24 car. We're talking about Ashley Freiberg and Loni Unzer. Now this isn't just any pairing, this is an all-female lineup, which is awesome. And on top of that, both drivers are members of the super prestigious Porsche Female Driver Program, and they're going to be competing in the Pro-Am class. And get this, they're not even starting from scratch. As Ashley Freiberg herself puts it, she and Loni have already worked together for years. That means they already have chemistry, they have momentum, and that is a huge advantage right out of the gate. See, this isn't some gamble. It's a really calculated move, and it's based on proven teamwork. But here's where the story gets so much bigger. That number 24 car, it's just one small piece of a much larger expansion. Kellymoss isn't just adding a car here and there. No, they are doubling down on their entire SRO America commitment. And that's one of the top sports car racing series in all of North America.
So just how big of a statement are we talking about here? Well, Kellymoss is going from 3 cars to a massive 6-car effort. They're doing this by adding a whole new 3-car team in a different category to their existing program. Believe me, this is a huge, huge statement of intent.
Okay, so let's quickly break down what this actually means. Their existing program is in the top-tier GT World Challenge America. Think powerful Porsche 911 GT3R cars. These things are purebred racing machines with just massive downforce and engine power. The new 3-car program is in the Pirelli GT4 America series, and they'll be using the Porsche 718 Cayman. Now that car is much closer to what you'd see on the road, but don't be fooled, it is still an absolute track weapon. What this does is it creates 2 totally distinct levels for the team to compete in, and more importantly, to develop talent.
All right, now let's meet the full 3-car lineup for this brand new GT4 America effort. It's pretty impressive.
So here's the full roster. In the number 52, you've got the 3-time GT4 champion Eric Filgueres, paired with Tom Kupczynski. Then, of course, we have the number 24 with Freiberg and Unzer, also in Pro-Am. And finally, the number 73 car with Erica Hoffman and Jack Perriott. What a really interesting mix of proven experience and up-and-coming talent.
Now, you've probably noticed that term Pro-Am for 2 of the cars. For anyone who might be new to sports car racing, it's a pretty simple but brilliant concept. All it means is that each of those cars has one professional driver, the Pro, and one amateur driver, the Am, who share the driving duties during a race. Now, this whole structure is absolutely crucial for the story, so definitely keep that in mind.
And that, right there, brings us to the why. Why this particular lineup? This wasn't just throwing names at a dartboard. It is, in the team's own words, a very intentional strategy.
And here are the words from the man in charge himself, Team Principal Andy Kilcoyne. He says what excites him is the balance, and that each pairing is very intentional. So the key takeaway here is that every single driver in this lineup has been chosen for a specific reason that helps the entire team.
So what exactly is that intention? Let's call it the Kilcoyne method.
Basically, the lineup is built to create this powerful feedback loop. You have experienced champions like Filgueres to set the benchmark and really sharpen the racecraft for everybody. Then you have drivers like Freiberg and Unzer who are ready to step into deeper competition and push those veterans. The goal of every single pairing is to accelerate each other's growth. It's not just 3 separate cars racing for themselves, it's one cohesive, powerful environment for development where all the data, all the experience, and all the ambition gets shared.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. Why does all of this matter? Not just for Kellymoss, but really for the sport as a whole.
Because the key takeaway is this. Kellymoss isn't just adding more cars to fill up the grid. What they're really doing is building a driver development pipeline. They've essentially created a ladder within their own team. A driver can now, potentially, start in a GT4 Cayman and, by proving themselves and learning from their teammates, they can progress all the way up to a top-tier GT3 car, all under the Kellymoss banner. Now that is a long-term strategy for sustained success. Which of course leaves us with one final fascinating question. By creating this intentional, balanced attack that's all about internal development and mutual growth, is Kellymoss building the foundation for the next great sports car dynasty? Well, only time will tell, but they have certainly drawn up the blueprint for one.